Hello and welcome here to Talk FCB and welcome back here to the channel, guys, as once again we are going to be discussing Ousmane Dembele as he edges closer to his return to the Barcelona first team. As we know, this week he has been taking part in some of the training sessions with the full group. Next week it is expected that he will be taking part in all of those sessions and rejoining the first team indefinitely. So that is really good news. Dembele stepping up his recovery. He's done really well since he got injured, both physically and mentally, because that must have been tough coming to the club, breaking down like that. You know, you saw him when he went down against Getafe. He looked really down, and of course we didn't expect him to be out for so long. He's done really well to come back in the way that he has. He's taken his time, he hasn't rushed things. That's really important. Whether he'll play in the Clasico, we don't know right now, but all we do know is he's recovering well, and he will be joining the first team next week to take part in all of the first team training sessions as planned in his recovery. And today we are going to be discussing 5 very big reasons why Ousmane Dembele, in my opinion, will definitely improve Barcelona, and all the more reason considering we've got such big games coming up. You know, of course we've got the Clasico at the end of the year, but going on to 2018 there's some really crucial ties coming up. We think about Champions League knockout matches, there's really decisive league games to come, and our calendar in 2018 is very full indeed. So we're going to need all the help we can get, and I think Ousmane Dembele will change the entire look of this team and the way that we play, and that is absolutely crucial. So my first point would just basically be Ousmane Dembele himself, the player, the name. That is the biggest thing for me. Him coming back into that team will be a breath of fresh air for everybody. He's not an established name in the Barcelona team yet, but he's a very exciting young player, and I think all the players in the first team will thrive on that. Dembele coming back into this team gives us that energy, gives us that buzz around the place. Even the fans in the stands, they'll really be excited about his return, and that is really positive energy. Coming back into the team, giving us a lift when we desperately need it. Like I say, our fixture list in 2018 is really full. We've got a lot of games, and a player like this coming into the camp, something a bit new, something a bit different, coming into the team could really give everybody a lift when I think we desperately need it right now. We need something to give us that jolt, get us back into top gear. I don't think we've been at our best recently, but Dembele coming back in could really help us out. And my second point would simply relate to the formation of the team, and that is a really crucial point as well, because obviously recently, since Dembele got injured, we've had real problems in the wider areas. Valverde has not really seen anybody he's liked in those wider areas, and simply because of that now, we've been using a sort of variation of the 4-4-2 formation, which, let me tell you now, even if it has been successful in the odd game, it is not the Barcelona way. It is not the way that we want to be playing, and it's not the way that we ever have played. You know, think back to Johan Cruyff. When the 4-3-3 came in, we have stuck with that. Managers have come in, they tried to change it, but it has never worked for a long period of time. Our values are with 4-3-3. That is the way that we always want to play, and that is the best formation for us. And Dembele coming back in gives us that wide option, gives us that outlet on the right hand side that we've desperately needed, and he will allow us, I hope, to go back to that 4-3-3 formation where we're so devastating and so brilliant. The 4-3-3, as you know, you've got the 3 in midfield, they give you that element of control. You've got Busquets and Iniesta in familiar roles for them, and of course the most important thing in the 4-3-3 is giving that centre forward or that false 9 as much space as possible, and as we know, that man is Lionel Messi. We saw it at the start of the season when Messi was getting that kind of room in and around the box, in and around the penalty area, on the edge of the box. He is devastating, and the more space that we can give him, the better, and that's what 4-3-3 allows you to do. It allows you to have your wide men, they stretch the pitch, they give the space to the false 9, and it can really be impressive, and especially with Messi in that role, Dembele coming back on that right hand side, keeping his width, stretching the pitch, that can be massive for us. And that does indeed lead me on to my third point, which is all about width and all about pace, and that is exactly what you get with Ousmane Dembele. He is somebody who's a natural winger. He's somebody who's very much used to playing in the wider areas. He will keep his width. He's disciplined in the way that he plays. He'll understand the tactical system that Ernesto Valverde wants to deploy, and that pace, that is absolutely colossal in our team, because if you think of the big games recently, we've had Suarez, we've had Messi, we've had a lot of midfielders, Rakitic, Iniesta, Paulinho. There's not really a lot of pace there. There's not really a lot of burning pace that can really hurt defences, and that's the big problem that we've had, because defences and midfield as well, they pressed high in the pitch, they've come on to us, they tried to block us before we even get near the goal, whereas if you've got Dembele in the team, that defence is not going to want to be too high, because if they're too high in the pitch, Dembele will exploit that space in behind. He's somebody who can get in behind, who can stretch them going back towards their own goal as well, simply because of that electric pace that he has, and I'm really excited to see how that works out, because I think we saw in the game against Espanyol, he was really pushing the boundaries, he was really getting in behind, he was giving us a completely different dimension, and I think that's what he'll allow us to do. He'll keep keep that width, he'll stretch the pitch, he'll give Messi space, and what he can do as well is drive in behind, which will help Suarez as well get the space that he needs to be effective. And once again, that does bring me on to my fourth point, which all revolves around Luis Suarez. We talk about Messi, we talk about getting the best out of Lionel Messi. One of the players as well we want to get the best out of is Luis Suarez. On his day, as we know, it hasn't happened of late, but on his day, he can be an unbelievable striker. We know that. He can score the goals to make us a powerhouse in Europe. He can score the important goals in the Champions League knockout stages, but what we need to do is give him the right service, and I think Dembele and Suarez could establish a really, really impressive combination. We saw a split second of it against Espanyol. Dembele was on the pitch a few minutes at that. He got the ball in a brilliant area. He aims to create. He put a brilliant ball into the face of Suarez, and Suarez finished it off. And I think that combination between Dembele and Suarez can be really, really lethal if they get it right, because Dembele is one of those wingers who's not like the modern winger. A lot of the modern wingers, they like to get down the right, they like to get down the left, and then they sort of cut in, they'll have shots on goal, and their always primary aim is to score goals. Dembele's kind of traditional in the way that he plays. He likes to get down that right, he likes to take on players, and he wants to create things. He is an assist machine. He'll score goals, of course he will, but his primary objective on the pitch is always to create. I think Suarez could really, really thrive off that. He hasn't had a lot of service of late. He's got Messi, of course, who provides chances for him, and in front of goal he hasn't always been deadly, but I think Dembele will definitely help him in the way that he'll get more chances, he'll get more space. Hopefully those two can establish a really, really impressive combination. And now we've spoken about tactics, we've spoken about mentality, we've spoken about the way that Dembele wants to play and the sort of outlet that he'll give us on that right-hand side. But the one thing that we haven't spoken about, and the one thing that really seems to get lost in a lot of things when you're talking about the, the tactics and the insights into the game, the final point for me would be excitement. At the end of the day, we all came here to watch football, we all follow Barcelona for a reason. We love the entertaining football, we love the exciting way that they play, the dimension they play with, the way they go forward, the way they attack, the way they put their moves together and score these fantastic goals. That's what we all fell in love with, that's what we all love to sit down and watch. And Dembele is an exciting player. So my final point would simply be, this is an exciting guy coming back into the team, and he is somebody who can make Barcelona very exciting once again, because I think you all join me in the way that we feel, even though we've got results in our last few weeks, and even though there's been a few draws in that time, we have not been impressive to watch. We've not been impressive to watch at all. At times we've even been boring, and I think Dembele can spice that up. He can come back in as a young, talented, exciting player, somebody who likes to take on defenders, who's got a few skills in his locker, somebody who wants to entertain. I'm not going down the road of Neymar, he's not going to be doing rainbow flicks over everybody and things like that, but what he is going to want to do is get on the ball a lot. He's happy to accept the ball, he's happy to receive it, and most importantly, when he gets it, he's positive with it. He'll make driving runs, he'll try and take players on. It's not going to come off every time, he's going to lose the ball, he's going to lose it a lot perhaps, but what he is going to try and do is be positive. And as a supporter, as somebody inside the stadium, that's what everybody wants to see. You want to be excited, you want to be drawn in by what's going on the pitch, and I think Dembele as a player, as a person, his personality shows that. He wants to go out there and entertain, and I think that's what we're going to get from him, and that is very, very exciting to see a return of Barcelona that is inspiring to watch and really makes you want to go and watch them and absorb what they're doing on the football pitch. So that is basically the reasons that I've got around Dembele coming back that I'm so excited about. He's a player that came in and, like I say, was so unlucky, brought in for a record fee, and I bet you he's so determined to go out there and prove why we spent so much money on him. There's been a lot of talk while he's been injured. No doubt he's got to come back in and he's going to try and have an impact straight away, but as well, guys, we've got to give him time. We cannot rush him too much. We can't expect him to come back after this 3-month injury layoff, 4 months maybe by the time he gets back, and have an instant impact. Of course, if he does, it will be fantastic, but we can't rush him. We've got to give him time. At the end of the day, he's still a young player, he's still developing, he's still learning the game. We need to give him time, and that's so important to give him once he finally gets back from his injury. Like I say, I don't know whether he'll be there for the Clásico. I'm sure that he wants to be, but we've always been intent on saying, do not rush him back from injury. It's important first and foremost that he gets back to full fitness, that he recovers in the right way, and when he is 100% ready, he will return. And as these points have outlined, it will be a fantastic day for the club and a fantastic day for us all to see him out there on the pitch. But as always, guys, I'm very interested to hear your opinions, as always as well, in my community tab, which I have been a lot more active in recently. Please do find that on my channel. It will be under the community section. Often in videos, guys, obviously I ask for your opinions and I really appreciate all the comments down below, but I've also started doing some polls on my community tab as well, related to the videos, different things to sort of outline what you guys think, and it gives you a much better insight on how you guys are feeling. So please get involved in those. I appreciate all the comments, all the kind words. It really is appreciated here on the channel. I'm really excited about what we're doing, and we are getting closer to that 50,000 subscribers mark. So thank you very much much to all of you. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back very soon indeed with more videos. But until then, as always, Visca el Barça!
Barça! Barça! Barça!